Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. Dave Palet, Josh Palet, Mario O'Haron. We've got the three of us back. That Josh is finally back after a couple of weeks. Busy time for Josh. I feel like I'm the only guy that's not tan right now. Here we are in the first week of June. Looks like I've been like in the basement. Mario, man, you're in the Midwest. You look better than all of us. What happened?
Well, it's easy to look better than you. It's not. That part's not hard.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that was a softball I threw you right there. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine. Don't start, Mario. You know, you were really nice to me for 2 weeks when Josh wasn't here. And then all of a sudden, man, it's like it's on, I mean, you look good, but not good enough to pick up, women from ages 20 to 80, maybe in the 80 range, but not 20-year-olds. So I don't know what to tell you.
The oldies need a little love too, baby. And I'm all about I'm here to give it to them.
Yeah.
It is very nice to have Josh back. It's very, very great. One, we missed you a lot, Josh. Two, doing shows with Dave, like one-on-one kind of sucked a little bit. So very nice to have you back.
I dragged on a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Look good. Not a lot of stuff happened, but hey, it's nice to have you back.
Thanks, man. I listened to the shows you guys did, and they were good. I thought you guys did a great job for two people. It's not easy.
No, we brought Fernando on. That was nice. Fernando Ramirez gave us some nice insight and stuff. So, Mario, I want to start off with something that I threw a crazy prediction out. At the time, I thought it was crazy. But I threw it out there, and when they threw it out to Fernando again. But I tell you, the more I think about it, it wasn't one just to get a reaction. It was honestly my true opinion of what I think is going to happen. I want to know what you think on this. And the prediction was that Justin Herbert wins MVP this year, and for a variety of reasons. And the two most important ones are because he needs the big contract. He's going to get paid like you wouldn't believe. But also, Kellen Moore has a ton to prove to all the naysayers out there. And especially, he's going to be thinking about the Dallas Cowboys every single day, that I can't believe I'm the guy that was let go. And I want to be a head coach in this league, and it's time for me to move on and get that job as a head coach. Hopefully, his time in with the Los Angeles Chargers is only 1 year. I think this is the year of Kellen Moore, even more so than the year of Justin Herbert. And that's why I said Justin Herbert has a very good chance of winning MVP this season.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Right now, he has the fourth best odds to win it at 9-1. It does seem like he's going to be a battle, I think, between him and Burrow in a way leading up to the season because, like you said, there's so much things that's on the line for Herbert this year, right? Like it's a contract extension. He gets a new OC. He's going to be competitive with Mahomes. We're in a tight window. They have to win now. But there's also a guy that's in that same situation. Joe Burrow's in that same situation. Contract year. Probably his last year with this receiving core because one of those guys is going to leave, and that's the best receiving core in the NFL. And, Vegas knows that. That's why he has the tie for first for the best odds to win MVP. So I could see it. I think in order for that to happen, the Chargers have to, one, be a top 3 seed in the AFC very, very clearly, and there can't be no question about it. He's going to need to lead the league in yards passing. He's going to need to lead the league in touchdowns. He's going to need to be accurate. He's going to be great. And that's what's the standard's going to be. He's not a guy that's a very talkative guy. He's not being in a press conference talking crap. He's not going to be, touring himself around for the MVP award. And in order for him to kind of get it, he's going to have to be best of the best, which he is. We just need to see on the field. I could see it at 9-1 if you're a gambler. That is best odds. I think that's never going to get lower than 900. So if you want that, I'd take it. But I could see it in the cards. I think it's going to be him or Burrow for the MVP this year.
Justin Herbert is Dan Marino. I know I'm a little bit young for that comparison, but would you agree? 1 million yards, probably going to rack up some MVPs, and who knows if he ever wins a Super Bowl. Dan Marino obviously made it, and Justin Herbert hasn't done that yet. But he's Dan Marino. It looks so cool when he throws the ball. If you're a kid, you got to love Justin Herbert. I'm not a kid, and I love Justin Herbert. And I think, like Mario said, he's the exact player that wins MVPs in this league because he just racks up crazy numbers. Why would you not expect him to win an MVP in these next couple of years?
Man, I tell you what, if he's Dan Marino, I'll be extremely disappointed, right? Because we know how Dan Marino's career went. I mean, yeah.
Great player,
100%. Though. Yeah, great player, but as a fan, you're rooting for the franchise. And if you're a Dolphins fan, you look back at Dan Marino's career, I think a lot of them will look back and say, the Dolphins wasted Dan Marino's career. I don't want Justin Herbert to retire and go, man, Justin Herbert wasted his career because he was with a team where the front office couldn't figure it out. For Dan Marino, he was in a situation very similar to John Elway, where he had wide receivers to throw to. He never had running backs. And then when John Elway got a running back finally in Terrell Davis, boom, they won back-to-back Super Bowls. And for Dan Marino, he never really had the running game to support what he had or the defense to support what he had. But Dan Marino was amazing to watch because his release was insane and he was extremely accurate. And I told you I had a run in with him once in the locker room, but I still admired Dan Marino as a player. Just he was just unique, and he wasn't drafted, the first pick overall. He was drafted right at the end, I think like 27 or 28 by the Dolphins, when everyone said, oh, his hands are small and he's a troublemaker off the field and everything else. But when Justin Herbert, it's all said and done, I'll be very disappointed if they say Dan Marino and Justin Herbert were the same guy. Yeah, you're a Hall of Famer, but you aren't a guy that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment, right? It's like, hey, you're great. You're one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But at the same time, you have all the yards you want, all the touchdowns you want, have the best statistics ever. All that matters is that ring, baby. And if you don't have that ring, then it's going to be hard to get remembered. It's going to be hard to get compared to anyone. We're in an era where hot takes matter and rings matter. And if you don't have either of that, it's hard to get a hot take out about you. You kind of get more hate than love in this league. But I don't like, if he is Dan Marino, that's great. I just hope he is the Dan Marino that wins. I don't want to see Chargers go back-to-back QBs that just we have nothing to show for it, At least the Packers have two.
Hold on. If going into the draft, somebody told you you're going to get Dan Marino, what would you have said? Yes.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
You would have taken. You would have taken that deal.
Yeah.
So why would you be upset about it now?
Because that means the Chargers don't win. And so here's the interesting thing. Let's be honest. As a fan, we care about the franchise, right? It's always great one of your favorite players makes the Hall of Fame. But there's nothing in it. It's an individual award. Now, at the same time, if I was a player, this is going to come off really selfish. If I was a player and you gave me a choice of a Super Bowl or the Hall of Fame, I'm taking the Hall of Fame every single time.
Really?
And the reason I'm taking, because if you're a Hall of Famer, Mario, you live forever. If you're a Super Bowl champion, unless you're the star of that team, you don't. You're forgotten, especially in the NFL. You're forgotten really quick. I mean, what does the Hall of Fame have? Less than 300 people in the Hall of Fame. In the history of the game, there are less than 300 people on the planet that are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It is so hard to be a Hall of Famer. And as an individual, yeah, that's fine. But we're fans. We aren't, you know what I mean? We aren't related to any Hall of Famers. We don't get anything out of it outside of saying that was my guy. LT was my guy. Junior Seau was my guy. But you don't get anything out of it. It's not the whole bragging to your friends about the trophy case. Hey, we got a ring in Super Bowl 57, whatever it was. It's I don't know. That's why I'm at. I'm all for the team thing. I don't care about the Hall of Fame as a fan.
Josh, would you like to rebuttal first? Because I think that was a dumb argument on his part.
Okay.
But you just said the opposite. You'd rather be in the Hall of Fame than win, but as a fan, you want the opposite?
I said as a fan. If I was a player, I'd rather be a Hall of Famer. I want to live forever. I want to be Dick Butkus.
So I would hate you.
You would hate you. Right. You probably would. But guess what? You go to Canton, Ohio. There I am.
You're an eye guy
forever.
You're
I'm an eye guy.
I don't want you to quarterback my team.
Okay, I am Dan Marino. But that's my point. As a fan, there's no connection for me. Do you understand?
Okay.
No, I don't understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you rather win a national championship or the Heisman Trophy winner? It's the same thing.
Championship. No, it's not.
I'm the quarterback.
Yes. You'd rather be a Heisman Trophy winner.
Hold on.
Quarterback.
National
or you want a Heisman Trophy.
National champion.
Heisman Trophy.
Okay, Dave.
Greatest award in sports.
Here's a counter to your awful point.
It's a hell of a way to phrase it.
I know. I kind of like that. I liked that off the rip. All right, Nick Foles. He's not a Hall of Famer. We're gonna remember he's forever engraved because he won a Super Bowl. If you win a Super Bowl, you're forever engraved. Like it's the same thing as Hall of Famer. Yeah, you're a Hall of Famer. You're one of 300 guys, whatever. Super Bowl is in that caliber. Like national championships in that caliber. Like people will always remember who you are. We will always remember who Stetson Bennett was because we watched him play at Georgia and it's crazy. And is he a good player? Like maybe not. Heisman, see it, buddy. Like no shot. NFL career, I freaking doubt it. Like I have better chances scoring with Megan Fox than he does to win a freaking MVP in the NFL. So, but we remember him because he's forever engraved. So I think winning a Super Bowl championship, like, dude, you're forever engraved. Like, who gives two craps about Hall of Fame? Rings matter, baby. You have that ring on at a bar. You have that ring on wedding day or whatever. Like, that's something to be
They
remembered.
have Hall of Fame rings too.
Yeah, kiss my ass with
Okay,
that.
would you rather be Nick Foles, Trent Dilfer, or would you rather be Dan Marino?
Are you
What are
kidding
you
me?
talking about? No,
Are
I'm
you
not
kidding
kidding
me?
at all. Would you rather be Dan Marino or would you rather be Trent Dilfer or Nick Foles?
Dude, give me the A on the project, baby. I'm Nick Foles and Trent Dilfer. I would embrace the hell out of the one Super Bowl run, like where I was like the quarterback. I'd embrace the crap out of that. And I am really close to cussing today. I have no idea why.
Yeah, I know. And your light keeps going in and out. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I always think about Charles Barkley when Charles Barkley talks about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't sit at the table. I mean, obviously you want to be.
It's
both,
different
but
to
if
me.
you gotta
It's
choose,
different with
it's hard.
Barkley. Isn't it different in basketball? Because everybody in basketball makes the Hall of Fame. I mean, the Basketball Hall of Fame is not the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
But he wasn't like a borderline. Tough. But he's an all-time great basketball player. It wasn't he just got in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's in a different level of Hall of Fame.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know.
I'm curious. This is one of those I hope people write on the comments because I'm curious to know what side do you take here. As a fan, of course, I want the championships. But if I was the player, I would take the Hall of Fame over a Super Bowl championship.
Okay, counter. So would you rather be Julian Edelman, okay, or Adrian Peterson?
Oh, I'd rather I don't want to be Adrian Peterson any of those days. I don't care what the hell. Adrian Peterson's a bad dude. Adrian Peterson beat the crap out of a kid.
Dude, but that's to your point. You're saying a Hall of Fame, like Edelman would
but
probably not be in the Hall of Fame.
Pick a different Hall of Famer behind besides Adrian
LT.
Okay, I'd rather be LT than Julian Edelman. Not even
really.
Yes. Yeah. I'd rather be LT. Yeah. You can't pick somebody that beat up little kids.
How cool is it?
Hold on.
He's a bad guy.
Yeah.
How cool is it if you're Julian Edelman? Like, dude, you're Iceman. Like, when things got tough, you got tougher. That's so cool to be that guy. You want to be that
I'm a
guy.
Julian
you walk
Edelman.
in the room, like, that's the most clutch guy right there.
Yeah, but Julian Edelman will always be criticized for being a system guy, right? Julian Edelman was only Edelman because of Belichick and Brady. That's what he's going to be known as. He was a system guy. Okay. All right. Just telling you. I like the comparison to LaDainian Tomlinson better. Would I rather be LaDainian Tomlinson or Julian Edelman? I'd rather be LT.
One more counter to you. Okay. What party do you think is a lot more fun? The Hall of Fame party or the Super Bowl party?
Oh, the Super Bowl party is better. I got it.
Yeah.
But that's one party. I'm talking living forever. Dude, you live forever as a Hall of Famer.
You think there's one Super Bowl party you're going to have when you win it?
Yeah, one. Right after. Done.
I absolutely doubt it. I think I would go on a 2-month bender.
Did you do that without playing one NFL game? I've seen it.
Exactly. Hall of Fame, dude. It's like here's your jacket, give an emotional speech, thank God, thank your mom, and get the hell off stage.
Oh my God. All right. Say what you want. Okay. All right. Both you guys.
Me and Josh are right, dude.
You believe so. You think you're saying the right thing, but that's not what you believe. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Right.
You can't open a restaurant by being Trent Dilfer. You know what I'm saying? You open a restaurant if you're Dan Marino.
Yeah. All right. Here's something. Yeah, no, keep going. I mean, it's debate. When we were on one side of the fence, I wish Fernando was here to debate on this, but it's a good debate.
All right.
All right. Here's something I noticed, and I wasn't stoned. Are you ready?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't stoned for this. Have you noticed how many great players in Los Angeles have 2 first names? Have you ever thought about it?
Give me a second.
Have you ever thought it? I'll do it for you. Okay.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Justin
now
Herbert,
I need help.
Okay. Yeah. Justin Herbert, 2 first names. Keenan Allen, Derwin James, LeBron James, Aaron Donald, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard. Crazy.
Wow.
You all just mind blown.
Wow. That's actually pretty nuts.
Weird?
Yeah. It's kind of inside information you can only get on Bolt City.
We're not even high.
We're not even high. What's very funny too is I was just at a wedding last night. I got like a group of people to subscribe to the pod. So this is going to be a great first episode for them to tune in on.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, my
gosh. It's also June
All right.
4th,
So, Josh, we're sitting here. Obviously, we're talking while you were gone. We're talking about different things the Chargers have done during the offseason. All right. So, since the draft, everyone's sitting there trying to figure out how good this team is, and we went through things that need to happen, and looking forward to the team. But one of the things we haven't touched on, we want to name top 3 best offseason moves for the Chargers. Okay, offseason moves for the Chargers. And just kind of curious to know direction wise, Mario, Josh, me, we'll tell you what we think were the best moves. Mario, I tell you started out. This was your idea.
All right. Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you, Dave. My first one, I think it's the most important move that they've made all offseason. I think it was the safest move too, and it wasn't one that they overreacted in doing and didn't kind of underreact it either. Really, figuring out the Eckler contract and bringing him back for one more year. I think that was the best move they could have ever made this offseason. You bring back your best offensive production player on the team, a guy that's not been injured, who's constantly been there for you. The only one that outdid him in such subjects is Herbert, and you obviously have him on a contract for a little bit longer. But figuring that out and not going to, I'm going to pay this running back a ridiculous amount of money, and we're kind of just going to go from there. Or we're going to completely disrespect you and not figure anything out at all. And then he doesn't report to training camp. And then we're at a situation where it's week before the season, and now we have to trade him to a team. And then you get like a 5th round pick back from him. And it just doesn't work. It's just a crappy situation all around. I think they handled that situation with grace. I think they killed it in that. Eckler got the money he wanted. We got one more year with them in this tight window that we have for Super Bowl. We don't spend too much money on him that needs to go to Herbert for this big contract extension. So that's what you have to do in this league. You have to pay the QBs, you have to pay him a lot of money, and then kiss him on the mouth and say thank you for everything you've done for us. We look forward to the future. Just what you have to do. So I think Eckler, figuring out the Eckler contract, getting him for sure down for one more year is a great thing, and avoiding any training camp drama, anything like that. That's good stuff.
Josh, I'm curious to know what you think on this one, because we disagreed while you were gone.
Shocker. On this?
Yeah, on this situation. My argument back was why? Why give him extra money? He's already under contract. What, so he doesn't come in a bad mood? I mean, what, you're that worried that Austin Eckler is going to be unreasonable in the locker room? I mean, dude, you're under contract. You play what your contract you agreed to. This is how it works. You agreed to do this job for this amount of money this year. Now we have to throw you a little bit more money just to make sure you aren't in a bad mood. What are we doing here?
I think the reason they gave him that money was to shut him up. He was going on all these
exactly
podcasts.
Right.
Should have went on ours.
Went on our podcast. Money. That's what it was,
dude. We'll talk trash with you all day long. We'll talk crap with you. We love doing that. We should have came on this podcast, but it was to shut him up. I mean, that's all. The only reason they did it. They were annoyed. They're like, dude, you're going on every freaking show except Bolt City and talking bad about the franchise. You can't have it. It was word for word what they told him. They're probably like, why have you gone to Bolt City yet?
It was
weird.
I'm with Mario though. Just like get it over with. Like, shut him up. I'm all for it. I understand your point though too. In principle, you're under contract, and what are you going to do? But also, you're a leader of the team. Just take your money and stop talking. I get it.
Yeah. There you go. All right. What's your number 2, Mario?
Our number 2 is Kellen Moore, and we needed someone to figure out our offense. We needed a new face in our offense. We needed a scapegoat for this mistakes this past year, and that was Joe Lombardi. And he was out the door, and we needed a new face to kind of take over this offense. And this came in a guy that has a lot of experience, had a lot of success with, I think, a far less talented quarterback in Dak Prescott and a far less talented receiving core in the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't know if you guys have read anything up or heard anything about OTAs. He has Staley between his legs in some drills with Duggan at quarterback, and he's found success already. I mean, I know it's OTAs. I'm not going to blow the spot up on OTAs and say, oh my God, this guy's going to, take us to the Super Bowl at this play calling. But what I'll say is that it's a good head start. It's a good direction and where everything's looking. The players seem like they like him a lot. The players are responding well. I think the hiring of Kellen Moore was an excellent move. It was definitely a move that improves this team. And hey, I'm a huge fan of it.
I am too. I am too. I think it's a giant move. And again, why shouldn't the players be excited? The Cowboys had a top 3 offense in the NFL. I think the Chargers actually have more offensive firepower than the Dallas Cowboys. I expect big things from Kellen Moore.
I think everything's pointing in the direction of the Chargers having a top 3 offense in the league. I couldn't agree more. If I had to do my list, it's my number 1 move by a mile.
And my last one is Eric Kendrick signing, because you mentioned this, Dave, that it's gonna be a big year for Murray, right? Like it's gonna be a really, really big year. I think. What you did? You said it's a prove it year.
No, I said I was done with him. I threw him away.
Yeah.
I said he's gotten worse and disappointed me ever since they drafted him, and he has done nothing to change my mind. When you say it's a prove it year, it's a prove it year for Telesco to say to Spanos, "This is why I drafted the guy." It's not a prove it year for anyone else except for Telesco to justify his decision to take him in the first round. It's a horrible pick.
Yeah, so I went a little bit more positive about what you said, but yeah, we're there. And I think Eric Kendricks in a way could help Murray like kind of mature a little bit, kind of figure out his way in the system and in this defense. I think Eric Kendricks brings leadership on his team that maybe Drew Tranquil kind of fell a little bit short in. And I think Kendricks also helps us really in that window to win now situation that the Chargers are in. So I like it. I think he's going to help improve Murray a lot. I think he's going to be a really big voice, a big leadership on that defense. We all know Derwin James is kind of like that leader. I think he's going to really help that. I think he's going to help lead with James because, like I said, James is a leader, but he's doesn't have all the experience that Kendricks can kind of bring in that locker room. So I think that's going to be huge for him. And hey, maybe he helps bring Bosa back a little bit, helps get Matt going, and we all live happily ever after.
What do you think, Josh?
Are you surprised? No, I like it. I think Eric Kendricks is a guy that you want on your team as a leader. Are you surprised Kyle Van Noy isn't on the Chargers? Or did you expect that?
Nothing surprises me. I'll be honest with you. With this team, with the general manager, with Staley, nothing surprises me with what they're doing, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like if you were to tell me that Van Noy and Drew Tranquil wouldn't be back, I think I would have been surprised because I thought Van Noy was figuring it out the last 10 games of the season. I was really disappointed the way it started. I expected a lot from Van Noy, and then I was like, man, I go the Patriots again, knew when to get rid of Van Noy. But then he was gone. The Drew Tranquil one surprised me a lot. Here's my deal with Kendricks, and not to say you guys are wrong on that. I just don't know if he has anything in the tank. I hope he's the guy that he's been in the past, and if he's a bust, it's not going to surprise me because it seems like the Chargers seem to grab guys a year too late all the time.
It seems like a guy that just like he goes to a team and goes back to the Patriots. He goes to a team, goes back to the Patriots. So it didn't really surprise me. Tranquil surprised me more than him. Van Noy, I thought was you're gonna go back to the Patriots and be a dominant force and be great, and then someone else is gonna take a chance on you, and that's not gonna work out. So I'm not that surprised.
Why would you not sign him when he was balling to end the year? What did you expect? Like he did what you wanted him to do when it mattered the most, and you're not going to retain him, especially with the team that has no depth. I think the Chargers are like the worst in the league when it comes to judging linebackers. They're horrible. You can never tell what they're going to do with linebacker. And Kenneth Murray, shocker, he's not great. That 2019 Oklahoma defense was unstoppable, the team that he led. So I don't know how that didn't work out.
Yeah. Big 12 defense.
Yeah, I mean, my point is like, hopefully, Kendricks comes and helps him mature. I mean, dude's in the NFL, he's considered an old man now. He's been in the league a long time. He is what he is, man. He's just not that good. He's outsized. He's not very good. He's just not a very good football player. I mean, it wasn't a good pick at the time. It didn't make any sense. And then it's proven that everything we thought and why would you reach and take that pick, that it hasn't worked out. You just don't take guys in that conference on the defensive side of the ball and say, hey, guess what? The pace is going to be so much more elevated and expect this guy to turn out to be a stud. It just doesn't happen very often. It was a reach in the first round, and he's been exactly what we thought he was going to be. That's what's disappointing. Speaking of the Patriots, is Juden's the only guy in that whole goddamn roster that I would even want from the Patriots. You can't sit there and say the Patriots are the bar anymore. When people say this is the bar, the Patriots used to be the bar. I mean, they're the worst team in their own conference. Don't stop talking to me about the Patriots, and that's everybody. I'm not just talking to you guys. I'm saying the argument's old. The NFL moves along really fast, man. The Patriots are a joke right now, almost at every position.
Bill Belichick is Greg Popovich. Dude, you take away Tim Duncan and Tom Brady, what do you have? What kind of coach are you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, that's what it is. Don't Bill Belichick's the greatest of all time when he's like you said, the worst team in his division. Same thing with Greg Popovich. Don't tell me he's the greatest coach of all time. It's ridiculous, man. See how good you are without those guys. And Matthew Judon is a top 5 defensive player in the NFL is ridiculous. But I don't think the Patriots are anything. They have the worst roster in the NFL. And I'm talking about every team in the league, the worst roster in the NFL. They cannot draft.
I'm with you. All right, here you go. I'll go next, Josh, unless you want to go first. You want to go first, then I'll go last. Whatever.
Go
you
for
want
it.
to do.
No, you go for it.
All right. So my number one move in the offseason is Kellen Moore. I can't say it enough. I mean, it seemed like every show we were starting with is ripping the hell out of Joe Lombardi, and for good reason. We weren't just like, hey, let's go after Joe Lombardi. I mean, even the Chargers were writing to us saying, hey, dude, take it easy on Joe. Look, we weren't doing the show for the Chargers. We're doing this for us and for the Charger fans that are interested in this team. Joe Lombardi there's a reason so many fingers were pointed at him. The offense was disappointing. It was disappointing almost the entire year. The fact that you get Kellen Moore and the fact he was available, in my opinion, the Cowboys made a major mistake letting Kellen Moore get away. And to sit there and have to make a decision between your head coach and your offensive coordinator and then choosing the head coach, I think a lot of that comes down to Jerry Jones and money. And it came down to I'm not going to pay a top dollar for 2 head coaches at the same time. Kellen Moore leaves, Chargers benefit. I think Kellen Moore is going to be so good that I don't think he remains in this position as offensive coordinator this time next year. He's either head coach of another NFL team or he's the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. But I don't think he's 2 times back-to-back. You're going to see him as an offensive coordinator with this team. I expect big things from him. I think he has a ton to prove. And again, as I said earlier, Justin Herbert has a ton to prove. We can move on to Kellen Moore because I know you guys said the same thing about how much you guys like him, and I know I have him on my list. Mari had him on his list. I'm pretty sure Josh will have him too. Next one is Morgan Fox, underrated as hell. Yeah, I think most football fans in the NFL don't understand that Morgan Fox is a very good football player. And Morgan Fox is very important to this Charger team. And unless you follow the Chargers week by week, you understand how good he actually is. And so, outstanding football player. And to me, he was getting better and better every single game. But he's underrated. And again, even if you follow the Chargers, half their games, let's say you're just a fan of the AFC West, I'm pretty sure you aren't even aware of who Morgan Fox is. So the fact that Morgan Fox is still here, great. If you ask me, Josh, going back to who would I rather have, Morgan Fox, Van Noy, or Drew Tranquil, Morgan Fox would have been the guy I would have chose. So I'm that high on him, thinking his best football is ahead of him. What do you guys think? Wrong or right?
I think Morgan Fox is one of those guys you only know if you're a Charger fan, but I agree with you. One of the more underrated players in the division. I don't know, man. The Drew Tranquil thing really does bother me a lot because I know he's going to ball out this year with the Chiefs. He's going to have 100+ tackles for sure. And every time he plays the Chargers, he's going to ball out because everybody that plays against the Chargers that used to be a Charger always balls out. So that one really bothers me. But Morgan Fox was a guy you had to retain. That defensive line is so freaking bad. And he's one of the few guys that played well. So I'm with you. Morgan Fox is a good player.
This was one of those, Dave, where when I saw you type that in and saw you say it, I was so mad at myself for not thinking of it. I'm with you. I think it was a huge part in bringing him back. In moments like this year that we really needed a defensive play, we needed a defensive stop. We just need energy on the field. That was Morgan Fox. He stepped up in huge moments. He made huge plays, got huge sacks. And yeah, he is a guy that if you're not a Chargers fan, you don't follow the Chargers, you probably don't know who he is. It's probably he gets a sack and you're like, who's this, guy that's just off the street that just decides to make a play today? So he is one of those, but at the same time, those guys are important to the team, right? Those guys are the ones that when you make a Super Bowl run, they're the ones that kind of come out of nowhere that they're like, yeah, remember his play that he had at this moment? Do you remember when he was a stud for us during doing this? It's those guys that kind of take you to that level of a Super Bowl and kind of help you win that. So yeah, I love it. I think it was a great move by the Chargers, and happy to have Morgan Fox back.
Yeah. So okay, here it goes. So my last one is, and I mean it wasn't like they acquired him, but it feels like they just got a big time free agent because when Rashawn Slater went down last year at the very beginning of the year, there's a panic, and there should have been a panic. He's one of the best offensive linemen in the league. And whether you're the Chiefs, whether you're the Bengals, the Bills, an elite team, you sit and lose your best offensive lineman. You're going, how are you going to protect the guy that's most important to us, and that's the quarterback? Losing Rashawn Slater made other guys on this roster step up, guys that fans weren't aware of, guys who played better than I think even Charger coaches thought they'd play in Rashawn Slater's absence, which makes the team even stronger this year if everyone can stay healthy. But the fact that Rashawn Slater, they say, is 100% right now as we do this show, and we're ready to start things up as far as training camp in about 6 weeks. Pretty exciting to see that Rashawn Slater is going to be 100%, and that offensive line all of a sudden got a lot better. And you would probably rank it a top 5 offensive lineman and offensive line overall in the NFL to protect Justin Herbert and be able to do all the things you want to do in Kellen Moore's offense. So my third is Rashawn Slater, healthy Rashawn Slater.
I think Rashawn Slater is actually the best player on the team for his division right there with Derwin James. I think James is 1 or 2 safety, and I think Rashawn Slater is 1 or 2 left tackle. That's how good Rashawn Slater is. So having him back is going to be huge. One of those things as a fan, you don't realize how important the left tackle is sometimes, but Justin Herbert, you're going to tell, has more time to throw the ball for sure.
Protect our beautiful king, baby. And that's a lot Slater. That's what he does, and having him back is going to help Herbert have some time. It is like one of those things when you mentioned like the offseason moves. Dave did a classic radio job. This is a classic radio one where you go like, great moves. It's like getting this player healthy. It's a classic one. I respect it because I almost thought about doing it. And I wanted to do it, but respect to the old man for getting it done. I like it.
Look at that. Look at that. All right, Josh, what do you got?
So instead of repeating Kellen Moore and Eric Kendricks, I mean, I think it's everybody that's a Charger fan is really excited about those 2 moves. Obviously, those are my 1 and 2, but a couple other things. Jamari Sawyer playing left guard instead of Matt Filer, to me, is just a huge upgrade. And it's not like you acquired him. He was on the team last year, but just filling him in at left guard because Matt Filer was so terrible is just going to make a huge difference to this team. So I love that the Chargers didn't need to draft anybody and they could just plug him in at left guard. And to me, he looks like a guard more than a tackle. Joe Lombardi out the door. Address what the problems as soon as you can when the season ends. I wish they would have done the move during the season. Fernando was telling us there's no way the Chargers do a move like that, and he was right. They didn't. They waited till after the year. But if it's broken, you need to fix it. And Joe Lombardi was a problem. So the fact that they got him out and they didn't try to make that work is a great move. And then addressing the needs through the draft, I thought was also huge. Max Duggan, I don't know if he's any good. He was pretty good in college, but Chase Daniel was so freaking bad last year when he had to go in. I'm glad that they moved on. They had Max Duggan as the backup. Quentin Johnston providing some relief at receiver when we have no depth with all the injuries we had. And then a punt returner. Who knows how often we're going to use a punt returner, but the fact that we have a really good one can make a big difference as well. So I like that the Chargers address their needs through the draft and that they try to get better. Sometimes you watch the draft and you wonder if your team even is trying. And the Chargers, to me, address all the needs that they have. Backup running back would be something I'd look to because I don't think we have a good backup running back. I think we actually have the worst backup running back in the league. So that's something I'd like to see them improve. But overall, I think the Chargers address their needs.
Not bad. Not bad. It's funny you mentioned the punt returner, kick returner thing. I mean, the NFL is doing kind of something we spoke about a month ago. I mean, the rules are coming out more and more. They just don't want guys returning kickoffs. It's just too dangerous. They don't want guys returning punts and taking those hits. And now it just seems like punters nowadays are better than ever. I mean, it's amazing how they can place the ball inside the 10. But at the same time, let's say you're backed up and you need to sit there and you gotta kick it. The guys aren't out kicking the coverage. I mean, it seems like everything's a fair catch in the NFL. You aren't seeing the Devin Hester days, the Deion Sanders days. Those days are over. And so I just don't know how important it will be having that punt returner outside of a guy that's just going to secure the football.
Can I just say this about the rule change real quick?
Yeah.
I get it. I understand it. Player safety, obviously, it's a very important thing. Special teams is how a lot of guys in the NFL make a living. It's how a lot of guys get a roster spot. It's a lot of ways for guys to have a career. I understand player safety. I understand everything. It is a violent sport. They choose to play the sport. They've known the risk their whole lives. Us as fans know the risks. Everyone understands the risk. Look, this is their career. I understand you're helping, but you could be hurting as well because you're taking away roster spots. You're not letting guys show film, put up film of the type of football players that they are. I don't like it as much. Like it just bothers me that they're trying to take a third of part of the game like away from it. Like I understand, make it as safe as possible. At the same time, realize that there's guys that make a living off special teams, coaches, players. There's guys that their time to get filmed, the time to be on the field is this moment. At some point, you gotta let the boys play. You gotta let the boys hit. You gotta let it happen. It's a physical sport. You're gonna get hurt. Your head's gonna hurt. Your leg's gonna hurt. Your arm's gonna hurt. It's just gonna freaking happen. Welcome to it. You know, that's like you don't see the UFC going, we're gonna try headgear this time around. No, you signed up to get punched in the face. Don't be surprised when you get punched in the face. Welcome to the business. Welcome to it. Welcome to the physical. Welcome to being hit. That's just, it is what it is. It's just, that part bothers me. It's like, I understand, make it safety, but it's also a violent sport. And you don't try to make it not violent anymore. It is what it is, brother.
All right. Can I go on this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a great topic. All right. Look, I'm all for entertainment, man. All right. I understand. I love the game of football. And trust me, I used to love it when I was a kid and you'd get all the kids in the neighborhood and you threw the ball off. Remember, you didn't even kick it off. You just threw it to the other team. And we're running our special teams, basically, but without, tackling. Sometimes we did tackle. Didn't matter. It was fun. It was exciting. Watching Devin Hester back in the day was exciting. Watching Deion Sanders was exciting. All the guys we talk about was exciting. The NFL understands this is the weak point. This is what we get criticized for. We have the number one sports in the United States by far in pro football. And we do it better than everyone else, better than the XFL and the USFL and everyone else. The NFL is king in the United States. But you know what gets a bad reputation is guys dying at age 53. Is guys who are in wheelchairs and have, horrible things happen to their bodies. And when Real Sports is doing stories of guys who just retired 5 years ago and they're in wheelchairs and they're stuck there and the wives are feeding them, it looks bad for the league. And when that stuff goes on and it looks bad for the league, guess what? You get in today's youth whose parents aren't signing their kids up to play football anymore. And the numbers have dropped dramatically for people who sign up for youth football and high school football. And that's what they worry about. They'll worry about the feeder program, basically, that you play the sport as a kid, you love it, you play as long as you can. If you can't make it in college or the NFL, you still are a fan of the sport. And it got too dangerous and too many people that we're talking about, all the injuries and the concussions that were going on with it. That's why the NFL had to do it. As much as I enjoy it, Mario, as much as you do, Mario, I enjoy it. And I love the big hits. I love when guys used to be able to hit each other in the head. And that sounds crazy, right, when we talk about it. But I loved Ed Reed. I loved Palomalu. I loved all these guys. I mean, we used to tell stories about, guys getting paralyzed on the football field and go, man, remember that? Like it was something awesome. And then you realize, man, to those families, it wasn't awesome. And so you understand what the NFL is doing. With all the changes on the way you can tackle now and you're dropping your head and how that's a penalty, I still watch as much as I ever watched. It didn't deter me from loving the sport. And I understand why you got to make it safer. It is weird the sport's called football and we're taking the foot part out of the game, right? I mean, the kickoffs and the punts and all that stuff. We're taking the foot part out of the title of the sport.
I think within 5 years, they're going to get rid of punts altogether and kickoffs. Just take the ball from the 20, right? Or the 25. Yeah. That's the direction it's going. I don't think it's going to be around much longer. What's the point of even having it?
Waste of time. Kickoffs are a waste. It's like the extra point. They finally had to move it. It was ridiculous.
Dude, what's the point? The guy kicks out of the back of the end zone every freaking time. Just save us the freaking 10 seconds. Like, we don't want to see it. Just like I'm all for that. The punts maybe keep them because they can get blocked or they can get shanked or whatever. But kickoffs are just a complete waste of time.
I agree, but to the point of, like, I get it. Like, there's guys that play in the league that they're in bad shape right now, and I bet if you ask a lot of those guys, and there's been some guys in these interviews, was it worth it? Someone will say, my family's taken care of.
Yeah.
Kids paid, schools paid for. Like, it's a physical game. You're going to get hit. Can't put a pillow between the guys. Make it soft there. Like, people are still going to sign up to play because, like you said, it's king. It's a great way to make money pretty quickly. People are still going to sign up. Yeah, youth football is going down, but as soon as they hit middle school, guys that will play, they will play. And in high school, they'll play if they want to play. I don't know. It's another age-old debate, guys.
No, they will. They'll play. And here's where parents mess up, man. I'm telling you right now. The parents mess up in youth football because they all think their kid needs to be a running back because they love it when their kid scores the touchdowns. It's the worst position to get your kid ready for. It is. You want your kid to be a running back? Guess what? It's the shortest lifespan in professional football. Yet your kid's going to take the biggest hits, the biggest beatings. He's going to get his knee blown out. He's going to have the concussions. He's going to be the kid that doesn't play the minimum amount 4 years to get a retirement. You know, most NFL football players play 2.5 years. You need to play 4 to get a retirement package. So you have basically lifelong injuries, and the running back position is the worst position to get your kid ready for if you want to play this game for a long time. You know who plays for a long time? Offensive lineman. Jason Kelsey, Andrew Whitworth. These guys play forever. Offensive lineman lasts a long time if you can play it. But people don't brag about it in the stands of their kids or those youth football games. You see that block my kid laid? No one's paying attention. Everyone just follows the ball. They don't realize how the game of football is really played. It's the inside out. Offense, defensive line didn't find the ball. That's not the way people watch the game. They will follow the football. Anyway, There you go. I don't know what to tell you. Again, Martin, I'm on your side for the entertainment factor, but I understand why the NFL is very aware of what's happening. And to be honest, I'm shocked that football is legal in public schools. I'm shocked because the lawsuits that come out, you wonder at what point do people start suing school districts in public schools across the nation?
Why can kids under the age of 10 play tackle football? Why? I mean, their brains are still developing. Why they should not be allowed to play tackle football? And I didn't play tackle football. I played in high school. I was a quarterback, so I never really had to hit anybody. But still, you watch these little kids get their heads bounced off the ground. It's like, dude, it makes you cringe. Why would you sign your kid up for that?
Dude, you got that big helmet on your head on that little body, man. Like, dude, that's a lot of weight for your head as your body's still developing.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you guys. Like, I agree. Like, when I have kids, I'm like, you're not playing until middle school because I just don't think you. When they teach you how to tackle, it's like, yeah, congrats. Go break down on someone and make sure you get your head on the football. Like, you're gonna get ran over. It's not gonna work. My counterpoint to that is that, like, if you do that with football, I'm just saying, like, then what happens with wrestling? What happens with if your kid does jiu-jitsu? What happens if your kid plays hockey, like lacrosse? Like, what's that ripple effect like? Like, I know there's not as much physicality in maybe those sports as football, but like, that's my thing too, is like, I get it where, you know, I don't think they should play tackle until a later age just because I think it's safer. Yes, I agree. But like, it does get dicey, I think, a little bit, because you're like, all right, then where do you draw a line with other sports too that have a big part of physicality in it?
10 years old. After 10 years old, you have the option to be more physical. Before 10 years old, learn the skills of the game. Learn how to properly cover somebody in coverage, or how to run the ball properly, whatever. Teach them the skills of football. Yeah. But the fact that you have to lay the wood at 9 years old is the most ridiculous thing of all time. Dude, seriously, us two and anybody else that's watching this knows that kid that was great when he was 8. And then he gets to high school and he peaked already, and he never played because his body hurts.
True.
And I said, he peaked when he was a kid. It's just useless to me. That's just
you're right. I hate the videos that they show the kids knocking the hell out of each other when they look like they're 7 years old, and this is that one kid that just takes a beating.
Hate it.
I do. It's not. You can say, "Oh man, this is awesome," and did you share that with me? Immediately, I'm like, dude, I don't trust you as a human being. Why would you share that with me? I don't want to see that. That's not cool. It's not cool to see a kid either knocked out or screaming his head off.
Dude, I always think, like, Josh, you probably could definitely relate to this too. Like, think about like how many times playing Pee Wee football, like, you did Oklahoma drill or like something type of that in practice. Like, looking back at that, I'm like, dude, we would do that for a straight hour of like 2 kids lining up and just running at each other. And you're like, good job, guys. Hey, Heron, get your head lower. You know, James, gotta run at him. You know, except like that's so bad. Like, you should not be doing that for a straight hour. Just
all right, Mario, here you go. So you always tease me about my age, but people are listening will know exactly what I'm about to say. When I play Bull in the Ring, have you ever heard of Bull in the Ring, Mario? You're a Midwest guy. They ever do this?
Like a drill?
It's illegal. Like, it's illegal in all 50 states now, but it's basically it's the entire team in a big giant circle. Okay. and then they take one guy, dude, and they stick him right in the middle of that circle.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then they call out, they'll go number 88, and boom, 88 comes running at you, and you got to hit him. And you last about 3 hits where you can do it. You guys collide together. And about after hit 3, you're so worn out that all you do is drop your head because it's the only way to protect yourself. And you open yourself up for a broken neck. And man, it goes on forever, man. And it's just a beating of 80 kids taking a shot at you. And you're just, it's the most ridiculous drill of all time. I have no idea why they do it. Even in the best hurry up offense of all time, you aren't getting hit that much that fast. It makes zero sense on why they ever do that drill. But when you get tired, dude, you drop your head, and that's where spinal injuries happen. But I know it's illegal in all 50 states, that drill. But it was a big thing when I was a kid, bull in the ring.
I remember doing it once, and there's nothing worse than when you first get in the middle and you get the biggest kid. Yeah. And he's behind you. And you're like, oh, this is gonna suck.
You're trying to find him where he's coming from. Yeah, you don't know where he's coming from. Yeah.
And then you get hit on the ground, and your coach thinks it's a good time to show how you look against adversity and get the second biggest kid coming to you as you're getting up. And yeah, this won't affect my mental health or make me feel really freaking good after this drill.
Yeah.
Just eat it.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Dude, it's ridiculous. Dude. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right. We got a lot of stuff still remaining on the show, but I tell you what we'll do. Let's do the part. We'll save the segment 3 part, and then we'll do the catch up with Josh, because I kept saying Josh comes back is major news. So Josh, you want to break your major news?
I got a nose job. I needed to do it. Yeah. I got engaged in Indonesia, in Bali, with my girlfriend. So it was great. Thank you. Appreciate it. I did it on the ledge. If you have me on social media, you've probably seen the video, but I did it on a ledge. And if I would have fell, I would have died. So it was a kind of risky move there. I was more concerned about the ring than my actual well-being. So if you see me in the video, I'm shaking like that. And my girlfriend, or fiance now, is scared of heights. So she's shaking. So we both look like complete idiots up there shaking together. But I mean, greatest moment of my life up to this point. So I was really happy to get that done. But yeah, did it in Bali when you guys were doing the show. So thank you for letting me talk about that. I appreciate it. And another thing you guys talked about in the little notes that we have is, I think it was something weird or something unusual that you do. And my fiance now did something that really pissed me off. And I'm going to tell you what she did.
Yeah.
And you tell me if she's right or I'm right, or what do you think? Okay. So we're at a restaurant. It's with a group of our friends. Okay. And she always likes to eat my food, and it's fine. I'm not one of those people that likes to eat other people's food, but she always wants to try what I'm trying, which is fine. You can take a bite.
Wait, hold on. Tries, or one bite, or hey, I want, and now I'm going to eat this.
No, dude. Okay, that's. I'm not going to talk about that, but that's where I draw the line with no. You get one bite, because you should have ordered it if this is what you want. One time when on this trip, she didn't like what she got, and she liked what I had. And the great boyfriend that I am, I switched with her, and I ate some curry, which I'm not a big fan of curry, but I did it because I'm just a great boyfriend. So,
fiance.
Yeah, no, one bite, fiance. So one bite, you get one bite, okay. And if we come back to this restaurant now, you can order what I got last time because you screwed up, but you get one bite. So the thing that she did that was absolutely drove me nuts, okay, and the dog agrees with me, drove me nuts.
Yeah.
All right. I'm eating, okay, and I say, "Do you want a bite?" And she goes, "I want the last bite." I said, "Dude, you are out of your freaking mind if you think you're getting the last bite of my food. Everybody knows the last bite is the best bite. You cannot request the last bite of somebody's food. You get one of the first bites of the stuff on the top. You don't get the best stuff on the bottom. Imagine if you're eating an ice cream cone and you said, 'Hey, do you want some?' And somebody says, 'Just give me the bottom of that ice cream cone.' You go, 'Dude, you can go screw yourself. You freaking crazy if you think you're going to get the bottom of this ice cream cone. It's the best part of the whole ice cream is the bottom of the ice cream cone. You cannot request the last bite.' Am I right, or is she right?"
All right, hold on. Let me try to answer first on this one, Ben. All right, just because I've been married the longest, and
you're the only married one.
Right, I know. So here's the deal: most women, Mara, but you dated a lot. All right, so you know what I'm talking about. Most women that I know won't ever eat the last bite. they always leave. The women I know always leave a little bit on their plate. Like I clear my plate no matter what. I have a big thing about never wasting food. Even if I'm full, I will finish the entire plate because I just don't want to waste food. And so, but women will always leave a little bit left on the plate. I think it's a mental game in their mind that I didn't eat that much if they leave one bite behind. And I think maybe that's where her angle is as far as saying, hey, I'll just have the last bite because you aren't going to eat it either. That's my guess.
Why did you just take the first? Why don't you just take the first bite then? If you want to try my food, take one of the first bites. You cannot take the last bite. I enjoy the last bite. That's what I look forward to is the last bite. I finished my food. You got to finish it.
When I was a kid, my parents used to do this. They would say, hey, can we buy a Coke? Okay. My dad would buy a can of Coke, and he'd say, you and your sister split it. And then my sister would open it and then drink the entire thing. And I said, what happened to my half? She goes, my half was on the bottom. And then it was always that, I got ripped off. You see what I'm saying? I never got what I want. Yeah, see what I'm saying? But the last bite thing, I don't think she was trying to stick it to you. I think she just assumed you weren't going to eat it.
Dude, I'm not saying she's trying to stick it to me. She's taking away my manhood. Having your woman finish your food for you is the most you-know-what thing of all time. There's no way I'm letting my girl eat the last bite. It's crazy. Yeah. I give her my man card at that point. You cannot eat the last bite. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's ridiculous. I understand a bite. I have a rule. My favorite food's French fries, so you can't take my fries. I don't care what any other side, it's fine. But French fry, step too far, sweetheart. Step too far.
Who has the best fries, Mario? Now I got to know who has the best fries.
Best fries. Ooh. There's a golf club over in Indy that has the best fries.
Give me a national brand.
National brand.
National brand. Someone that people in California can relate to.
Chick-fil-A is amazing. It's not too waffle fries. Trader Joe's has amazing waffle fries that are hashtag healthy for you, I think. Because I scanned it on my app. Yeah, they're healthy for you. So yeah, that's it right there. Waffle fries, Trader Joe's, get a whole bucket of it, go nuts. Go nuts with them.
What are you talking about? Wait, you have to go to Trader Joe's and then make them at home? I'm talking in the car, dude. What are you talking about? Like, here, I have a theory. McDonald's fries have never made it home.
Listeners on a budget? What about Bolt City fans on a budget, huh?
All right, sorry.
Yeah,
when I think of fries, that's what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for
Penn
you to give
Station.
me a place to go buy great steak fries and make them at home myself. I'm not doing that. I'm going through a drive-through. I need fries.
All right, let me get back to my point. But yeah, the last bite's nuts. I think second bite's fine. So second bite or like third bite's fine because you got to know the flavor, right? So you got to take a bite of it and go, hey, it's pretty good. Why don't you try it? And then you give it. It's one bite. You can't take the last bite because I'm picturing the last bite of like a burger where like maybe it's all coming together in the end. You're like, dude, this is gonna be nuts. We're in a burrito and like all the quesos at the bottom. You're like, dude, I'm yizing in my mouth right now. This is amazing. So I'm thinking about that stuff. That would send me off. And then the other thing that would send me too is I would say, fiance, look at that ring on your hand. It's last bite for me. Last bite for me because the ring on your hand. So that's what I would have thought of right away. But that is pretty crazy. I haven't met her yet. But what I will say is that she started with 200 points and she went down to 199 because that's a little something though. It's pretty nuts.
The burrito and the hamburger is such a good call because those are two great examples of you need the last bite. Nobody's giving away the last bite of a burrito or a hamburger. Thank you for
nobody.
Yeah. And by the way, I wasn't eating hamburger.
I've been
damn. It was a hamburger.
It was a hamburger.
I ever heard.
You were out, and I dogged her in front of the whole table. Are you out of your freaking mind? Like I made a scene.
Yeah,
made a scene,
and that's why
I've been married over 30 years, and I've never once said, "Hey, you got to try this." If I know it's good, I'm not letting everyone know how good it is. People are going to want to bite. I don't want people taking stuff off my plate. At that point, I'm making a decision in my head. Am I ordering this back to back? Like, let's either get back in line or call the waitress over. I need another one. This is that good. I'm not sharing if it's that good. I'm not ever going to say you need to take a taste of this. Ever.
Okay. Quick question. How do you guys handle appetizers?
For instance, give me an example. Like Josh and I are big nacho guys. Josh and I will eat a ton of nachos.
Calamari.
Huge. Oh
calamari.
My God, dude.
Calamari
with a little spicy aioli. Let's get it going, dude. That's good stuff. My question was, do you pay attention how much everyone like is eating of it? Like when you get nachos,
Oh yeah,
and
100%.
100%.
you do?
100%.
Dude, I get
100%.
pissed if someone grabs that nacho and it seems to grab 75% of the cheese that's on top, and I see it just leave towards their face, and I'm like, God dang it!
All
Get
right,
pissed.
Leave towards their
that's
face.
good to know.
Yeah, it's a big
That's
move.
good to know.
Yeah.
Because if we go to dinner together, I'll get my own nachos because I'm bad with that.
All right. All right. Well, it's funny. I'm the same
Yeah.
thing in calamari. Like I'll watch you bite for bite. Like if I see
Really?
you three ahead. Oh yeah. If I'm talking
we're
and I see you just grab
we're
three
counting
cents,
cards at that
nachos.
point.
I mean, yeah. I did. I'm with Josh. Mario, you're Italian.
Okay.
You know, dude. Calamari is dude gold.
It's
Gold, dude.
Okay.
If I see you're 3 bites ahead of me on calamari, I'm gonna stop talking and start eating.
Counterpoint. I grew up in a big family. When the apps hit the table, when food hit the table, it was Civil War.
Yeah.
So if you got what you wanted, and if you missed out, you're a loser, and no one likes you.
Yeah.
So like that's why like when it's full court press Arkansas in the 1990s, baby. Like as soon as the nachos hit the table, I'm going for the chip that has every topping in the world, and I'm flipping you off as I'm doing it. I do not care. Like I will inhale an app. I do not care. Bread and little avo hits the table. Might as well put it next to me because you're gonna get dominated. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh my God, there you go. All right, we've gone about an hour. We're going to cut the show at a certain point because the NBA finals, all that stuff we're trying to catch up on. But hell, there's a lot to talk about. All right, a lot of football stuff. We'll come back in a couple of days. We got more stuff to touch on. Yes.
Can I do my 3 dad jokes about getting engaged now for Josh?
All right, let's hear
one. Okay. So the first one is Josh's 3 rings in marriage. There's the engagement ring, there's a wedding ring, and there's the suffer ring.
Got it.
All right.
That's funny.
Dude, I thought you were about to go dirty, dude. So it's at least you got
I got more. Marriage is like going to a restaurant.
C-ring.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah. C ring. Yeah. And then D ring. Keeps going. Marriage is like going to a restaurant, which if you tried, it's kind of fun. Marriage is like going to a restaurant. You order what you want, then you see what the other person has, and you wish you had that order.
I can't get over what you just said right now.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't even hear one thing you just said right now because of what you said before that. Oh my God.
Go ahead. What's the next one?
Okay. Marriage is like deleting all the apps on your phone except one. Yeah.
First
marriage.
One's my favorite.
Yeah, first one was better. But all right, this one might be good. Marriage is when a man and a woman become one. The trouble starts when they try to decide which one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's good.
A man is incomplete until he is married. Then he is really finished.
That's funny.
Yeah. And then I got my last one.
Yeah.
On my wedding day, my mom told my bride, no refunds, no exchanges on sale items. That's all I got. Congratulations,
there you go.
Josh Palet.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Dude, you want to officiate the wedding? You want to do it?
100%.
Do you?
Yeah.
I might be able to get you in. I'll put you on the short list of people.
You can't have Mario do it. Are you really going to have Mario do it?
He's on the short list. He might not get it, but he's
maybe
on
you should talk to. Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Josh and I might sign off on it. Dude, he has a fiance that's going to need to sign off on it. I don't see it happening. I think it's going to be.
Yeah, no, this is a
no
panel.
offense,
It's a panel
someone a little more
decision.
professional.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, you give me 5 minutes and I do a pitch to her, I think I could nail it. I think I could bring her to tears just in like if I do like a practice speech of what I would say. I think I could bring her to tears. I think I could nail it.
I only think it only takes like 10 minutes to get certified online too.
Yeah, it's quick and easy.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Praise be.
All right. Praise be. Praise be to the big cross. All right. We'll be back in a couple days. Again, I do want people to respond to what the debate we had at the very beginning of the show. If you're sitting and you're watching this on YouTube, what would you don't, if you don't have to give a long answer, but straight out, would you rather be a Super Bowl winning player or a Hall of Fame player? You have to choose one or the other. A teammate, or would you rather say at the end of the day, I went in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? Which one is who's right on this one? I'm really curious to know. At the same time, we appreciate you listening through the Odyssey app, of course. Listen to the Bolt City podcast. This is a show that's obviously put through Odyssey Sports, so we're excited. And again, the Bolt City podcast will be with you for not only this week but through the remainder of the year as well. So for Josh Palet, Mario Heron, I'm Dave Palet. We'll talk to you on the next show. Thanks, everybody.